Hello everybody, this is going to be a short first impressions video of Bound by Flame, released by Focus Interactive and developed by Spiders. They also made Mars Warlogs, which came out last year, which was a similar style RPG. As you can see on the screen here, I have been playing it a little. I started doing a playthrough on Twitch last night on Hawk level, which is normal. I got to level 13 when I stopped. I think I played about four and a half hours to get to level 13, and I'm still, I'm part way through Act 1 in the first chapter. I'm not sure how many there are, but I'm liking it so far. But what I was going to do for this first impression is just start a new game with a new character and just go through a couple of things. So, just go through some of the options. It's got built-in, obviously built-in controller support, etc. There are quite a lot of keys. The gameplay style is very much like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, that type of third-person RPG. I mean, game settings, it's all pretty simple. You have, subtitles, tutorials. You can move the actual UI around a little bit. I've not actually messed with that. I've just left it at default. Audio settings, as you expect, just master volume, effects, speech, and music. Music is obviously down really low because it's going on YouTube. Video effects are quite, they are quite, extensive. I mean, the settings here are what the default ones were that I've detected for my card, which is a HD 7970 gigahertz edition. So 1080, ultra shadows, ultra SAO, FXAA enabled, particles high, textures high. I can't turn this up anymore. Dynamic revolutions up high. The only thing that isn't set to max by default when I ran into it was the anisotropic filtering, which is set to 4 times, which I'm happy with that. You got the guide option, which basically when you start the game, you get all these, as you progressing through, you get these tooltips pop up, as you start going through, helping you understand certain things. This guide section on the main menu actually goes through all of those, so it actually shows them again if you want to go over some of the tutorial or see one of the pop-ups that came up again. Okay, before we get into it, just a couple of basics. Especially a third-person RPG, as I said, much like Mass Effect and the Dragon Age games franchises. The choices you make have consequences. You can try you've got different skill trees you can put points into. You can do a little bit of crafting. You can recruit companions. You can change your parties around. Let me just start a new game, start a new character, and we'll see. Okay. So first thing you see here is the graphics for the characters are also very detailed. I mean, obviously the character creation is all pretty basic. I mean, male or female, different faces. I mean, face 1 is this is the end piece. This is the face I'm running with my main toon. This is what he looks like. Because remember the Bearded Warriors Twitch streaming team, so I had to play with a bearded character. But if you have a look, some of the other faces, it's not too much choice. There's only 5 faces and 5 hairs. But for this, I'm going to try a female. We'll try a female toon on this short YouTube video since I'm playing a male toon on my Twitch playthrough. Different faces for different ethnic backgrounds, different hairstyles. All bald, little ponytail. Ooh, that looks cool. Let's give it that one. And start. At the bottom right, you've got a minimap which you can toggle on or off. F cycles through. You have the minimap in the bottom right corner. You can have the whole map as a big overlay on the screen. An opaque overlay that you can see through like this, or you can have nothing. Let's go see what he wants.
By the looks of you, I'm guessing it wasn't just a quiet stroll. So, what did you see?
The Deadwalkers are already close. I got one of their scouts.
God damn it, Vulcan. I've told you 100 times. Recon means observing and reporting, not charging in and fighting without thinking.
I didn't want to alert all of the others before we were ready for them.
But what if they'd have killed you? Then you wouldn't have been able to alert us before they were ready to attack us. Think for a second. God's blood. We have to get ready for them. Now that you've finally got your arse back over here, you can prepare some traps. Get Peeler to help you place them around the temple. That'll give us some time, and we'll hear them coming.
Yes, sir, Captain.
And if you have questions, you know where to find me.
Right, so he's give us our first quest. Hit K to bring up the quest log. And if you look here, we got one quest in a prologue so far. No side quests. This is like information show you what characters and NPCs you found, and also, you know, a bit of information in the background on the creatures and stuff. Over up, you've got a big main map which shows you, gives you directions where your objectives are. You've got your stats for various things, you know, warrior skills, ranger skills, and pyromancer. That's the three, I suppose, three type subclasses. Consumables and negative effects. And then you got your feat skills. I mean, these basically each time you level up, you get 2 feat points, and you can invest them into various different things. You unlock these by in-game achievements. As you see, the tough one, you get extra 10 maximum health, but to unlock this, you need to take damage 20 times. And it's the same for combat. For instance, look, if you kill 15 enemies with a sword, you can use this feat, you can learn a feat to sword damage +2, and it happens for all the different weapons. And the same with crafting. You know, if you craft enough of a certain thing, or use enough of a certain thing, you can make it better. You got your skill trees, which is, at the moment, we just have warrior because we haven't actually unlocked anything yet. But you also have ranger, which is the middle one, and pyromancer, which is the far right one. Typical inventory. One thing that I did find interesting is, unlike actual crafting components, unlike most RPGs where it only shows you what you have, here the inventory shows you all of the different crafting components and just tells you how many you've got. So if you look here, I've got 2 leather, and all of the others are listed there, but I have none. So, you know, which is pretty cool. And the first one is obviously your default items. You know, just got a basic sword, basic dagger, basic crossbow, you know, basic armor. And it's quite neat. I mean, you can, you know, if you want to switch between them, you can just toggle them off, toggle stuff off, you know, like this. Take the boots off. Let's take the. Okay, you just take it off. You can switch things around, and you have slots. These circles, like this breastplate has 3 circles here. These are free upgrade, like upgrade points, like for slotting or crafting gems and stuff in them, which we'll see a bit later on. So let's go do this quest. It's going to just tell us a bit more about the map, which I explained before. Just skip past that. Let's go and pick up the traps. Now we have to do a bit of crafting to create the traps. So you go into your inventory, and on usable items we got some traps, and as you see it says we can make 10. So we craft, and we're going to craft all 10 because we need 10 for the quest. And luckily you haven't got to sit there and wait for them to craft. It's instant.
I'll give all these to Peeler. He'll figure it out.
So now let's go find Peeler. And give him the items.
Hey, Peeler, give me a hand, will you? We've got to prepare the area before it gets overwhelmed with walking corpses. We need a little something to welcome our Deadwalker friends. Booby trap all the access points. And try not to blow yourself up.
Don't sweat it, I can handle it.
I'm not kidding. If you lose an arm, I'm the one who will get shit about it.
Okay, quest complete. Well, that part of the quest now is going to tell us to lay a trap, so let's go lay traps. Obviously you see the quest objectives here, and you just hit over them and select them. So the tab will bring up your powers you've got available, and items at the moment. You know, obviously we're still going through the tutorial, we've only got one. And orders is where you, when you have a companion, you can tell them what to do. So I'm just going to do this quickly. We'll drop 4 of these just to progress to the next part. A seamless transition between the in-game part and some of these like events, and these events are all done with in-game engines, so it looks very good.
The hodlers are here now.
So now we get a little bit of combat.
Drive them back! We must hold the esplanade.
First teaches a little bit about the warrior. It's basically, you know, like in a lot of games, hold space to parry. Q is to knock the enemy's back. Left mouse button for a quick attack. Right is for an AoE attack. We don't have an AoE attack. Well, there's no point hitting the AoE attack when there's one of them.
Here come more of them.
So let's go. Let's just take some of them out. R2. You can hit her and target them when you get more than one enemy, which is pretty neat. Because when you get more than one on the screen, sometimes it's a bit finicky to actually hit the one you want. And here come more. Now we got some ranged. So now to give us, we got the crossbow. So we can also parry the ranged attacks with the same, yeah, as it says there, parry with the holding the spacebar on the left shift, left control. Combat is, well, it's quite simple, but it is very fluid. I'm going to pause the video here and just skip on a little bit. Okay, we now got to the part where it tells us about the ranger. So basically, the combat styles you have, you use V to switch. So you got warrior and a new one which is ranger, which is more like, you know, like a rogue type class from other games. This one is, you know, you use daggers, it's very quick attacks. You can use Q to dodge. Ranger is the type of, in the game I was actually started playing, the one of my playthrough I'm doing with Twitch, I'm actually skilled up on as a ranger. So when we get a few points, I'm going to put them into warrior on this one just to see a slightly difference. Obviously, as you see here, when you kill a bunch of enemies, you see something on the floor to pick up. Normally it's just some materials, you know, depending on the NPC type, maybe a little bit of gold or, you know, something like that. Most of it is just stuff used for crafting. Now I believe it's going to tell us about stealth, yes. So, exiting into stealth mode, as you see above your health bar, you've got a little icon to show you're in stealth mode. You just sneak up behind someone and the first attack is going to do a hell of a lot more damage. So we'll do this guy with a shield. Oh, okay, maybe not. He's what I mean. I failed at stealth. Recovering health, yep, you can. I've now got a few more things in here. Free as a health, but if you, as I said at the bottom, you can bind these to the shortcuts. You got 10 shortcuts you can actually bind. You can bind skills from 1 to 0, but you only have 4 visible bars. So if you could sit there and bind something like a health pot to key 6. You don't see it on the button, but you hit 6 and it'll come up. Okay, we just leveled up and it's going to show us some points to. So now we see we've got 2 trees here. The skills, it is just an overview of all the skills. Once you get to the next section, you unlock pyromancy. You'll have the free here. You can go into the individual trees. As I said, the main tune I'm playing, I'm leveling up as a ranger. So here I'm just going to stick points in warrior skills. Right down the bottom you see the extra skills, which is the one we have already, which is the 2 attacks and the parry and like the dodges. And he's also got like one here for extra health and health regen. So I'm going to go for my main attack, go to novice, and we'll put our 2 points into this. So basically we put points in here, which is going to give us 20% extra damage from using heavy weapons. And we've also picked up a new weapon, so we've got new daggers, so we'll equip those. And we've got a new sword, which we'll equip. And now we can, if we go into here, into the craft, you can actually see these upgrade slots. So you got 2 slots, one of them is for the pommel, and one is for the guard, like different parts of the sword. When you highlight one, on the recipe list it shows you the different things you can make. And obviously the ones that are grayed out, you don't have the materials for. If you look here, Guard of the Swordsman down the bottom, I need 3 refined metals and 4 bones. I don't have those. The 2 top ones I actually have the mats for, so I can go to +1 ability to interrupt or +1 damage. So I'll upgrade that and put +1 damage, and in the other one I can actually do another +1 damage. So there we go. We put 2 upgrades in our sword. We'll hit V, we'll go back to warrior, because we're using the sword. I'm going to just switch the video off here, and I'm going to skip to right towards the end of this section, which is where I'm going to stop this for now, and then switch to my other tune. The end of the section is where you unlock the pyromancer. I'm just going to show you that part. This is the end of the prologue or intro level, where you actually have the demon inside you and you get bound to the flame. This is only, as much of a spoiler that I'm going to do, but as I said, it's only the prologue level, just to get an idea of one of the bigger battles, which is just a little bit different from the normal mechanics. I mean, you get to fight this guy. And like God of War and similar games, basically the mob itself, you got 4 different attack points. He's got the 4 legs, or 2 arms, 2 legs. You got a health bar on each, and you got to take them all out. Obviously, while lots of other things are going on at the same time, but you also get the pyromancer here. So the 3rd skill tree is unlocked, and you get some spells. Fire infused sword, fireball. Are the first 2 they teach you in this tutorial that's coming up. You are one ugly son of a... Let's roll. Let's kick his rear. Yes, the strange powers invaded you. This is the pyromancer, as I said. Orb of fire and burning weapon. Orb of fire is like a... It's a fireball, but obviously you got to, while killing him, you need to take out these guys as well, especially the archers, not so much the other ones, but much in my health. Quick, I took out 1 foot before I died, then back to another archer. Because the archers do damage from range and they kick ass. The other little guys, they're not so bad. I mean, with the warrior, I can just wait till melee and let them come in with me, and let's flame infuse our sword to do a little bit of flame damage. Well, we've got more archers, so we'll see what I mean about the archers. Let's set the hill pack to 5. See, the archers are the only thing that's really doing any damage to me here. As you're seeing on the feet just now, without the lock-on mechanic, it's really difficult to hit each individual component of this guy. Let's take out his other sword infused. I'm trying to take out his hand. By default skill, this it does. I think it does +5 fire damage by default. This thing to So, we just got 1 hand left. Take out the archer first, and we'll go and take him out. I should have probably taken some, given myself some skill points, seeing as I have some. Fireball. That's just an idea of the different bigger boss mechanics. So I'm going to switch over here to my other toon, who's level 13 or level 14, just to show you a little bit of the what he's actually got by that point. Okay, here we are. This is my level 13. I started playing last night. On my Twitch stream. I plan on continuing this playthrough on my Twitch stream until I finish, however long that takes. But he's level 13 now, and he's currently in a small village of Valvanor, which is the first town or village you come across where you have NPCs, vendors, etc. If I just go through here, you can see I'm in Act 1. I finished Chapter 1 of Act 1, so I'm just on Chapter 2. I'm not sure how many chapters there are or how many acts, but side quests, I've been trying to work through some side quests. As you see, I've got 2 left. I missed one of the side quests in the first section, the prologue section. Gear-wise, I've got a slightly upgraded sword. As you see, I'm not slotted a sword because I'm not playing the warrior class. I'm actually playing a ranger with daggers, and as you see, I've got the daggers upgraded, each one to add 1 physical damage. I've actually got a few upgrades. I've just switched my chest over, and I've upgraded 2 of the slots. I didn't actually put anything in the third one yet, because all the third one it really is some resists, and the only one I wanted to do was the gunner's kit to make the trap more deadly, because the traps are pretty beastly, which you'll see if you start playing. Everything I got a little bit more of. If I look at the skills, as I said, I'm not touched warrior. I've spent 21 points into ranger. Especially I'm trying to unlock the top skill. I've got all the combat skills, one of the stealth skills. I'm going through the dodge and the parry skills. I want to get to the top, which obviously, you know, you get the speed demon effect, where you can slow down time. But as well as that, I've also put some points into flaming weapon, which is what gives you the fire attack on your weapons. So with the 3 points in that, it does extra 5 fire damage. It lasts 5 seconds longer and there's no cast time. For my feats, all I've done is I've put some points into crit with daggers, give you more health back from a heal potion, 20 extra health, and 20% extra XP, and better chance of finding items. Nothing amazing. As you see from here, let's check that stat screen. Yeah, from the chest screen, you know, level 13, almost halfway through. Skills wise, I've got expert ranger, novice, everything else. And he looks pretty beastly. I've actually got a companion with me at the moment, which is Sybil. She is the NPC that we saw at the beginning in the prologue. She's a mage. She's the only one that heals. So the reason I chose her is she's actually got a heal spell. Now if I go back to now I've actually got some powers. If I go back to this wheel now, you see all of the different spells I have. There's 2 more still to unlock, but the order section, now I have it, you can see you can direct your follower to either do what they think is right, be defensive, you know, be more attacking, or for this one, which I have set at the moment, is the healers, which should tell her to actually heal people when their health gets low. One thing I found with the companions on this, which to be fair, is had the same issue with Mass Effect and Dragon Age, is when you actually set them orders like that, they're not the greatest. I mean, sometimes I've been out in the wilds fighting mobs, and she'll be sitting there casting spells on people to do damage, and I'll be getting really low and she's not healing me, or even when she's getting really low on health herself, she's not healing herself. So although I've been taking her out to have some healing, I've not really been relying on her as heal. I mean, there are a couple of other NPC followers that I can get. There's this one here who is a magician or sorceress called Edwin. I also have a ranger in here. If we go inside the inn, we'll just show you for a second. In here we have a ranger class, which you can also set as your companion. But obviously, because I'm playing a ranger, I haven't actually switched to the ranger. There's also a warrior archetype who's in the next room here, but I'm not going to go through this door at the moment, because as soon as I go through this door, it's going to start a quest sequence for the main quest that I'm actually on for this chapter 2, and I don't want to go in there and spoil. I did do it just now, and I had to cut the video, and that's why there was a little bit of a jump there. So at the moment, I've got the 4 different companions I can choose from. You got the warrior, the rogue type, a mage, and like a cleric healer type. I think I'm going to wrap this up about here. Just to summarise a little bit, it's a very, very, very polished game. It's something that it's a title that I have been waiting on. I hadn't heard much about it until I heard the announcement. There was the announcement which was basically saying it was coming out as PS4 next gen exclusivity, you know. And when I started looking at it, I'm like, oh look, that looks very much like a Mass Effect Dragon Age type thing, type RPG, single player RPG, which I love those type of games. So it was been on my list, and I'm definitely not disappointed. There's only the one little flaw with the gameplay that I have noticed so far, as I said, which is the companion mechanic. When you set them roles, they don't really stick to what they do. I mean, ideally with this character, if I set her to just heal us and do nothing else, then what I want her to do is just heal and nothing else. She doesn't have to do damage. She can just stand there and spam heals, because when you actually start playing this turn and have her with you, you can see how her healing is. I mean, I've only got 120 health, but when it takes her about a minute to fill that health bar up, you know, she's not really doing much great healing. But other than that, I mean, the combat mechanics are great. It's got some great story in it. The voice acting isn't the best. I mean, if I talk to this character here, just check out her voice acting.
Edwin, I need to speak to you.
What can I do for you?
What can I do for you?
We need to rethink your combat style.
Do we have a problem?
Do we have a problem?
No,
No,
nothing.
don't change a thing.
How indecisive you can be. Your double personality, perhaps?
But of course, you know, her voice acting, isn't that the most amazing? And she's dressed very scantily.
Thanks.
When you actually get to the quest chain that leads up to actually earning her as a companion, it's pretty cool, pretty epic. It involves another big boss fight, like the one we just did. But I'm very pleased with it. You know, it's $40 on Steam or £30. It came out 2 days ago, Thursday, May the 8th. I believe it was the 8th. And the one review I read of it, which I believe was the Destructoid review, I think it stated on that review that the game was pretty short. I'm not sure how long actually meant it was. I mean, I played about 4.5 hours, and I've just done one act in the first chapter. I mean, if they're kind of comparing it to something like Dragon Age or Mass Effect, like a similar type game, which for a similar price you would get, well, at the time of release for a slightly higher price, you would get, you know, 40, 50, 60 hours of game time. There may be, this is short, but at 4.5 hours I'm still in the first chapter. I'm kind of expecting at least 20 hours or so. But it is all single player. There is no multiplayer. There's no replayability. I don't know if there's going to be, if there's chance of DLC in the future. So once you run through it once, there's no real incentive to come back and play again on a harder level. But just in closing, I'm just going to talk to Private Bumpkin here, just to give you a little chat of a more a different type of voice actor. This guy amuses me.
I am not a greeting soldier. I would like you to give me some information about the village. Let's change the subject.
Damn it, I've already spoken to him, so he's not going to talk to us.
See you later, soldier.
But he's a very country bumpkin type guy, and he definitely sounds it. But I'll see you guys in another video. Hope you've enjoyed.